I made this little Jumanji card for a photo op at our church party. Kids loved it. I wanted to show you how I made it. I based it off of these Jumanji Jeep toys and pictures from the movie. I started out with a thick refrigerator box, or in this case, a big thick box that my tub came in. Once I had my box, I started painting it. I put all these colors in different corners of the tray. Some red, some yellow, green, black, and some of this more neutral white. I used these two old nasty brushes, held them both at the same time, and used a scumbling technique where you use dried brushes and just randomly rub all over. Try not to get too over controlling on it. Just let it be sloppy and natural. It looks better that way. Here are the results. Then I needed to cut these door shapes out so kids could get in and out of the car. I chopped this shape with a little slant towards the back. I put a bunch of liquid nails on it, folded it over onto itself. If you wanted to, you could have a little more fun painting the inside of the car. After I cut the doors out, I outlined them with this copper paint and outlined that with a black line. You could use a Sharpie or black paint to make it pop a little bit. Now I just needed to cut out the front window. So one of the more helpful things that I learned in making the window was to preserve a little of these side edges from the box. They came from here, so to give it some more rigidity and it would stand up better. Then I had to secure the window in an upright position. To do that, I used these long painter sticks. I used my beautiful old glue gun here that you can see has been used quite a lot. The glue gun didn't hold it in place very strong, so I needed to use this fiberglass fabric. It's a filter that goes over your heat vent. It doesn't stretch or make kids scratchy, and I glued that over the top of the sticks, nice and strong. We printed out a big size Jumanji and a couple small size Jumanji labels, stuck them on the front of the car and on the side of the car to jazz it up a little bit. And then I added this cool little grill on the front. All it is a heat vent grate. I painted it with that copper paint, and then I used a toothbrush to flick a bunch of black spots all over it so it looked nice and dirty. Then I turned to making the tires. Get the pun? I wanted to make sure that the tires could hold up the box pretty well, even though people wouldn't be playing on it. I wanted the car to be strong and not fall over. I figured the best way to do that was to use this 2-inch pink foam and double it up. I had to cut out 6 circles with a serrated knife. Be careful when you do that, kids. Make sure your parents help. 2 of them I cut in half, so I had all the parts and pieces I needed to make these tires. I scratched the insides of the circles a lot with a fork. Then I used the double butter technique and used a generous amount of liquid nails on both sides of the foam, and then smashed them together and rubbed them against each other until it made almost like a suction, and then the tires were super strong. Glued them on top of each other to make 4-inch thick tires. I spray painted them black and then painted some copper paint in the center for a hubcap. Now I needed to stick them to the side of the car. You can kind of see here how I did it. I used a bunch of liquid nails on the car and on the inside of the tires. I find if you glue both sides of something, when you stick 2 things together, it really helps them adhere better. And they would fit under the car like this, under and on the outside when glued. Put some heavy weight on it, left it overnight. This thing stayed in the gym for a couple months and kids were playing on it, and it took about a month until one of the tires broke off, so it was super strong. So I wanted to add some headlights. I cut little holes in the front of the car. I got these under cabinet lights. They call them puck lights sometimes. I found them for about $10. And once again, I used that non-scratchy fiberglass stuff to stick those on the inside of the car. And it was done. It looked great. The kids loved it. We got tons of photos. You might want to stick a bunch of plants around the outside of it to jazz it up a little bit and make it look a little more jungle-like. It's amazing what you can make with a good, strong refrigerator box. T-Bone and I got our picture taken in it. Very proud of how it looked. Like and follow, please.